Chapter 5 The Writing on the Wall. King Belshazzar gave a great banquet for 1,000 of his nobles and drank wine with them. While Belshazzar was drinking his wine, he gave order to bring in the gold and silver goblets that Nebuchadnezzar, his father, had taken from the temple in Jerusalem, so that the king and his noble, his wife, and his concubine might drink from them. So they brought in the gold goblet that had been taken from the temple of God in Jerusalem, and the king and his noble, his wives, and his concubine drank from them. As they drank the wine, they praised the God of gold and silver, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone. Suddenly, the finger of the human hand appeared and wrote on the plaster of the wall, near the lampstand in the royal palace, the king watching the hand as it wrote. His face turned pale, and he was so frightened that his legs became weak and his knees were knocking. The king summoned the enchanter, astrologer, and diviner. Then he said to these wise men of Babylon, "Whoever read this writing and tell me what this means will be clothed in purple and have a gold chain placed around his neck, and he will be made the third highest ruler in the kingdom." Then all the king's wise men came in, but they could not read the writing or tell the king what it meant. So King Belshazzar became even more terrified, and his face grew more pale. His nobles were baffled. The queen, hearing the voice of the king and his noble, came into the banquet hall. "May the king live forever," she said. "Don't be alarmed. Don't look so pale. There is a man in your kingdom who has the spirits of the holy God in him. In the time of your father, he was found to have insight and intelligence and wisdom like that of the God. Your father, King Nebuchadnezzar, appointed him chief of the magician, enchanter, astrologer, and diviner. He did this because Daniel, whom the king called Belteshazzar, was found to have a keen mind and knowledge and understanding, and also the ability to interpret dream, explain riddle, and solve difficult problem. Call for Daniel, and he will tell you what the writing means." So Daniel was brought before the king, and the king said to him, "Are you Daniel, one of the exile my father the king brought from Judah? I have heard that the spirit of the God is in you, and that you have insight, intelligence, and outstanding wisdom. The wise men and enchanter were brought before me to read this writing and tell me what it means, but they could not explain it. Now I have heard that you are able to give interpretation and to solve difficult problems. If you can read this writing and tell me what it means, you will be clothed in purple and have a gold chain placed around your neck, and you will be made the third highest ruler in the kingdom." Then Daniel answered the king, "You may keep your gift for yourself and give your reward to someone else. Nevertheless, I will read the writing for the king and tell him what it means. Your Majesty, the Most High God, gave your father Nebuchadnezzar sovereignty and greatness and glory and splendor. Because of the high position he gave him, all the nations and people of every language dreaded and feared him. those the king wanted to put to death, he put to death. Those he wanted to spare, he spared. Those he wanted to promote, he promoted. And those he wanted to humble, he humbled. But when his heart became arrogant and hardened with pride, he was deposed from his royal throne and stripped of his glory. He was driven away from people and given the mind of an animal. He lived with a wild donkey and ate grass like the ox, and his body was drenched with the dew of heaven, until he acknowledged that the Most High God is sovereign over all kingdom on earth and sets over them anyone he wishes. But you, Belshazzar, his son, have not humbled yourself, though you knew all this. Instead, you have set yourself against the Lord of heaven. You had the goblet from his temple brought to you, and you and your noble, your wife, and your concubine drank wine from them. You praised the God of silver and gold, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone, which cannot see, or hear, or understand. But you did not honor the God who holds in his hand your life and all your ways. Therefore, he sent the hand that wrote the inscription. This is the inscription that was written: Man, tekel, person. Here is what these words mean. Mene, God has numbered the day of your reign and brought it to the end. Tekel, you have been weighed on the scale and found wanting. Pele, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Then, as the Belshazzar commanded, Daniel was clothed in purple, a gold chain was placed around his neck, and he was proclaimed the third highest ruler in the kingdom. That very night, Belshazzar, king of the Babylonians, was slain, and Darius the Mede took over the kingdom at the age of 62.